Cyberpunk 2077 is a title that we've talked about here on the YouTube channel, guys, and you guys can check out all of that content, the things we've talked about Cyberpunk and what the future of this title could look like. And, I want to take this segment of the show to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and what happened here. Really, like what really happened. Obviously, we're going to break it down. We're going to kind of obviously give some speculation. We're going to give things that, obviously did happen and things that are still happening in this game and what the future of Cyberpunk 2077 could look like and what it could be, like I said, in the future. And I'm being joined by Luxkey or Sean, and we'll get his 2 cents here in a moment. But to start, Cyberpunk 2077, guys, I've stated this many times on the channel that underneath all the problems of this game, there's something very special here. Cyberpunk was one of the most hyped games that I really remember in recent memory, and it still sold very well, even with all the backlash and such to the title. But there's something really special there. You can see it. There's glimpses of it as you're going through the title and such. But I think that CD Projekt Red has a reputation that they now have to regain from everyone once again, because they lost that good reputation and they have a bad rep now. So what does Cyberpunk need to do? First of all, what happened? Well, guys, what happened was the game releases, and it obviously released too soon, and there was probably a lot of ongoing and just a lot of pressure coming from investors of CD Projekt Red and things of that nature to release the game, just get it out there. And so they released it unfinished. First of all, similar to The Last of Us Part 2, it released without the multiplayer, which, obviously is something that they are, talking about, that's something that's going to come in the future, but that's obviously not going to come anytime soon because they're working on other things within the game. So that, first of all, was a huge problem for me. I don't like it when titles release unfinished. And The Last of Us Part 2, guys, from the story perspective, it was finished. It was completed. Didn't have a lot of issues. But not having a multiplayer, not having co-op modes is very much so, when you're planning on doing that, is just really bad in my opinion. I just think it's bad for business, because guess what happens? You play that campaign like The Last of Us Part 2, and after you're done beating the campaign, there's nothing else to do unless you want to play the campaign over again. And most likely, you're just going to move on to other games. As a development studio, you should want to have people stay with your game. After you're done beating the campaign, there's multiplayer, there's co-op, there's other ways you can connect with that franchise, especially if you loved the game. And The Last of Us had incredible sales, but a lot of those people probably moved on to other games because all that's there right now, to this day, is a single-player story. So what I'm getting at is Cyberpunk is suffering the same fate, but it's even worse because of all the backlash, all the bugs, all the glitches, all the problems that this game released with because of ongoing pressure, I believe, from investors. Obviously, the things that CD Projekt Red did were very shady. They were obviously they were releasing copies to different creators and such to test the game, but they said that they weren't allowing them to show certain images, certain levels, and things of that nature of the title because they didn't want to show everyone that, hey, this title's got a lot of problems. So CD Projekt Red absolutely has to regain their now very much so bad reputation when this is one of the most prestigious companies in the world from a gaming perspective. When we look at The Witcher 3 alone, they say one of the greatest games ever made. And, Cyberpunk 2077 has one of the best games ever made written all over it. But the problem is that the execution, and it's not completed. It's not done. It's not ready yet. Will it get there? I do think it will, guys. I think it's going to, because this reminds me of a Hello Games and No Man's Sky type of story. What it could be. The story could be that Cyberpunk 2077 starts really bad, right? All these problems like No Man's Sky. And then over time, CD Projekt Red just keeps on putting blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. They keep going, keep updating with all the backlash, all the problems, everything. They just keep on pushing forward. And then all of a sudden, it turns into something really special at the end of it, like No Man's Sky. That's one of the biggest games out there for people who love those open world adventure titles that you could spend hundreds of thousands of hours in a game like No Man's Sky. Cyberpunk 2077 could have a comeback story unlike any in recent memory. And do I think it'll happen? Well, time will tell, guys. I think that there's a real possibility of it, especially the fact that, the multiplayer is not even out yet. So they have stuff to work on now, get the game where it needs to be, but then give us that multiplayer, make it that full package experience. I would be very excited about that. But I just think at the end of the day, guys, what happened here was it released too early, way too early. And we obviously suffered some criticism that was very well deserved, but it should not have happened. It shouldn't have happened that way. This was going to be one of the greatest titles ever, one of the best ever made by CD Projekt Red. And we didn't get that yet. We didn't get it yet. There's always a possibility that it could come back. Now, Luxkey, and you kind of hear about all the things that are going on and that what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. But what are your thoughts on it? I mean, do you think that this is a title that is going to have a real comeback story, or do you think it's going to be one that is going to be remembered as a game that could have been but never really got there? What do you think?
I don't know what to think at the moment. I think once they release the multiplayer, that's going to change it all. That's really going to decide what happens. I also think I've seen a lot of the glitches and all that, and some of them are gone, but a lot of them aren't. I remember all the way back, like really, really early 2020, I saw it and I was looking at the trailer. I was like, wow, I really want to buy this. And then it came out and I was like, never mind, because I saw the glitches and all. The trailer looked good, everything looked good, but then you see the gameplay and it was like, nah, I'm alright. And then I think maybe once it's fixed, I might buy the game, but at the moment with all the glitches going on and all that, I don't want to. And I think at the moment it's looking like it's going to stay how it is, with all the criticism. All the memes are going down, people stop making a joke out of it a little bit more. But at the same time, I think if they really want to rebuild it, I think they need to start working even faster than they are, getting the glitches gone, and then releasing this multiplayer.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's a sad story right now, but everybody loves a good comeback story, guys. Everyone loves seeing, a game or whatever it is, guys, in life. You love seeing things come out of the ashes, things come out of places of no return, limbo states, or places that you would never think they could. And I think CD Projekt Red has it in them, but this is really going to test them as a company. Do they have what it takes to face that controversy, look the adversity in the eyes, and push forward and just keep going? Just keep going, because a lot of companies might just say, similar to when we're talking about Hello Games with No Man's Sky, they could have said, you know what, guys, this project, this game, it was a failure. We're going to just put this, almost try to pretend like it didn't happen, and we're going to move on to something else. But they didn't. They kept pushing forward, even amidst all of the backlash, all the problems, the bugs and everything. They fixed it. They kept pushing. They believed in the product. And I believe that CD Projekt Red should believe in this product 100%, because it's got Game of the Year. It's got all that stuff written all over it. They just got to get it right. Get it right, and I think it could be something really special. But let me know, guys. What do you guys think? Do you think they'll get it right over at CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077? What do you really think happened here to this title to meet the despair and all the discouraging thoughts that people had about this title and such? What's it going to take for it to come back in a major way? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Cyberpunk 2077 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.